Okay, so welcome to the week ahead for the 30th of October through to the 5th of November, 2023. All right, as usual, I'll just start to get straight into it. And because it is 7 o'clock on Monday night, I won't really go over too much of Monday night. Just to say, how are you feeling after that lunar eclipse that we had yesterday? It could have, it could have been a whole different experience for lots and lots of people. I know that I had a lot of physical sensations, like I felt really full on. So, I mean, it was very irritating. There could have been inflammation, itchy skin, harsh words. We've got this Mars conjunct Mercury happening. So, anyway, Monday was more of a allowing the changes to happen. We had this moon conjunct Uranus at around 11 o'clock this morning. Yeah, around 11:30. And so, with the endings, or the forced endings, the exposure of some unknown things in our lives, and potentially some really good beginnings, we still have to make that emotional shift. So having that moon conjunct Uranus today could have been quite beneficial. Now, in general, in the sky, you can see here we've got this Sun, Mars, Mercury conjunction happening. So this Mars Mercury conjunction is exact Wednesday, I believe. Anyway, I'll get to that one very soon. So it's less than 1 degree away. So this looks like, okay, so overall, when the sun is in Scorpio, we have a natural tendency to want to investigate. Same with Mercury in Scorpio, and the ruler of Scorpio is Mars. So right now it's wedged right in between the sun and Mercury right now. And it's just making our thoughts potentially way more forceful, our words more angry, although the desire to know more could also be really, really amplified. Right. So now we also have this growing Venus trine Uranus. Now, Uranus is in Taurus, which is ruled by Venus. So we're looking at potentially the strategy in order to change. Even with the sun in Scorpio and the moon in Taurus, it's a very financially driven, or we're sorting through our finances, or we're coming up with new ways to make money. So with Venus in Virgo, spreadsheets all over the shop. This is more like the analysis or the business plan. This would be a good business plan setting time. You want to change your finances, Uranus in Taurus, and the trine to Venus over there in Virgo is allowing us to analyze and discriminate and get that information into good logical working order, which is such an earth sign type of tendency. So, I mean, overall, even though the day's finished, we've still got this sort of overall energy in the air. All right, let me go through till Tuesday. Okay, I'm going to go to 8:30. All right. Now, when we wake up on Tuesday morning, we have the moon in Gemini, all right, being ruled by Mercury in Scorpio, which is, as I was just earlier saying, conjunct Mars. All right, so it's quite a restless type of, Gemini is restless and flitty and fun and, buoyant anyway. It's an air sign, a mutable air sign, which means it's very changeable. But tomorrow, when we wake up, we're going to be out of sorts. So we have later on in the day, we have the moon in conjunct. All right. So there's that adjustment required. There's a bit of tension. There's some inner work that needs to be had. And so, the moon in Gemini is thinking about it, and the sun in Scorpio is like deep diving into the dark recesses of our soul, trying to find all the bits that we've hidden away for a long time. And that is just perfect for Saturn in Pisces. So, the story is molding well together. All right, so back to the moon. Now, tomorrow, it's a very unsettled and too like a definite seesaw type of energy. So I've got cooperative but combative. All right. So if you are speaking and you're talking about information, you could be like, yeah, I really agree with that. And I'm just quite forceful with my words. So people could be like, whoa, hang on there, buddy. You know, so that combative yet cooperative, challenged but confident, you know, if you're trying to start something new, or because I mean there's so much new stuff happening and old things ending, so even in that there's new stuff to be dealt with. You could be feeling fear yet the confidence to go do the thing. So if you do start feeling and you're thinking and feeling and it turns into anxiety, and then just remember that chemically and in our brain, excitement and anxiety are the same type of thing. It's just the labels we put on it. Just like when you fall in love and you like, you feel like sick and you can't eat, there's that whole trope of, falling in love makes you feel sick. Anyway, it's the same type of thing. You're excited, yet you're anxious. So if you're feeling the busy sparkly vibes of this Venus trine Uranus, because this is, even though it's in earth signs and our emotions are in air signs, it's still quite grounded. But yeah, there's just a disconnect, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word, but you know what I mean. So the trick for this one is to tune in, speak the truth, and if people ask you if you're okay, it is totally fine for you to go, no, I'm not okay, or yeah, no, I'm not feeling it, or oh my God, I'm fabulous. Like, you don't just have to, be like, yeah, I'm fine. Use your words. Let's get the right conversation started. All right. So a lot of where's the Pluto? Okay, so Venus is also trine Pluto. So not only is she making this trine to Uranus, but she's making another trine. It hasn't quite started on this one here. She's making another trine to Pluto. It is wide, but it's coming. So the changes are paired with some reality checks and some, there's a whole theme of truth coming out this week. All right, so that is Tuesday. Let's go through to Wednesday. Was there anything I wanted to say about that one? No. Okay, let's go forward. All right, Wednesday. Okay, so the Venus exactly trine Uranus was at like midnight. All right, so again with the be careful. Oh, see, no, I would like to say be careful with your spending, but in this case, it's more about the social aspect. Like Venus in Virgo doesn't want to go out, and Uranus in Taurus is quite happy to also stay at home and just try new things at home. But the combination of them might be forcing some social activity on you that you're not quite comfortable with, something like that. So on Wednesday, you might feel bright and sparkly, but there's just still this erratic energy in the air. All right. Oh, and look at this, at 8:30 in the morning, we're going to have the moon sextile Chiron. So another time where it is good for you to speak the right words. All right. Chiron in Aries is that aspect of ourselves that we are healing ourselves to become better individuals. All right. So, change, analysis, logic, speak up, just speak the truth. And look, here's another one. Moon in Gemini, trine Hygieia in Aquarius. All right. So Aquarius is all about our freedom, and Hygieia is our mental health and well-being. So again, communicate honestly. All right. Say the words. All right. Now, what have I written? So pay attention to the things that the universe is showing you on this day, and synchronicities, and especially if your intuition keeps pushing you in a certain direction. Okay, maybe your thoughts keep going back to an old event. There's definite potential to acknowledge and move past some old hurts. All right, so we've also got this Mars Mercury doing their big investigation, coming up to, you know, this freedom and mental health, you know, so yeah, just keep speaking the right words, guys. Don't hold back. Okay, let's move forward until Thursday. So now Thursday morning when we wake up, the moon is going to be in Cancer. Oh, look at that. I've just got it at exactly 0 degrees. So 8:30 on Thursday morning, the moon moves straight into a trine, which is beautiful, harmonious, with Saturn in Pisces. All right, guys. Now, I wonder, in my words, I wrote, I wonder if a few home truths need to be told today. This might look like you scrutinizing an old story you've been told your whole life that is true and seeing if it's actually relevant to you now. Very, very much a theme that I've been talking about a lot and will be for the next couple of years. All right, so it may feel hard, but the rewards outweigh the fleeting discomfort. All right, so as soon as this moon moves into Cancer, there's home, family, old stories, which ties straight into Saturn and our subconscious old stories that we've been working on. And, you know, the female family members even, you know, but definitely we're looking at these old narratives in our mind. And, you know, like I just said, this, you know, this is a 2.5 year transit. Saturn rewards for the inner work we're doing. Now we're getting close to Saturn goes direct this week. So this is pretty exciting. All right, so what else have we got here? Well, this Mars square Hygeia is exact on Thursday. Now, if you have been resistant to doing the work that you know you need to do, I'll put my hand up for this one. You know, I know when it comes to accountability, I'm like, I want to keep getting my movement and exercise in. And, you know, the first little bit of resistance, and I'm like, I can't do it today. But, you know, here is that building upon a square. You know, bricks are hard, steps are hard. You know, you can build upon these things. Work needs to be done. So hopefully, once this square is over, the resistance that you may, I know I have, been feeling might ease. So that's really good. All right, so that is for Thursday. All right, so let's go forward to Friday. I kept feeling like I'm forgetting things. Oh, okay, so we've got the moon trine Saturn at 9:30. What am I going to say about that one? For some reason, I just want to put in here, I don't know if anyone in the recording or is going to need this, but I feel like maybe it's time that you wrote the story, right? Maybe this is purely intuition on my part. I feel like somebody needs to write their home stories down, all right? And like I said, you know, maybe some home truths need to be told. If you can't directly tell the person that you're thinking about in this, if this relates to you and you're like, that person's passed, I can't talk to them, then I think that maybe even just writing down the narrative, telling the story, getting it out, you know, this Saturn in Pisces is all about working on our subconscious. All right, so in Gestalt, the person doesn't have to be there. They can be sitting or, you know, imaginarily sitting opposite you. So I don't know who needed to hear that, but I hope that gave you benefit. All right, now I'll go on to Friday. Okay, so we still have the moon in Cancer. No, Wednesday. All right. Now, today is actually a really good day. All right, so moon in Cancer, trine to Mercury and Mars. Okay. This, I feel like, is quite a protective and courageous. You know, maybe we'll see, we're going back to those telling things how they are. All right, maybe today's a day where you can grow the courage to have a conversation with family or someone that you care about over a difficult topic. Find the strength within and make the necessary changes to clear the blocks, to clear the old blocks. Your future self will thank you. All right. So now between 9 and 1, there's that potential for conversations with people. All right. So even if you have to ring up, all right, on Friday, and you need to be, I don't know, stating your case or talking to someone about how something that you want to talk about is important. You've got that extra energy behind you to what's the word, to state your case, to you know what I mean, like to plead your case. I don't know, I can't quite think of the right way to describe it, but you know, you're trying to tell the other person, this is important to me, so therefore you should let me blah blah. All right, so that would be Friday morning between up until about 1 or 2 o'clock. That would be good for conversations. All right, now around 4 o'clock, see, here we go back to those old family stories again. I really feel like, you know, the Saturn ones are the things of the past. So the things of the past. The stories we've got Thursday, Friday are more like current stories dealing with family now. I mean, it could still be very excitable energy, but it is Scorpio. All right, so there's going to be some depth and intensity to it. Yeah. So there we go. All right. What else? Oh, yeah, and that's right. So at 4 o'clock, we had the square to Chiron. So that's why I got back into the family home truths and old hurts that you get to discuss and leave behind. All right. Now, on Friday at 3:40 p.m., we have the Sun opposition Jupiter. So this could look like, actually, I'll go further into this later on, but this could look like the opposition between your desire to investigate more and your desire to just stay comfortable. All right, so Jupiter retrograde in Taurus down here, it knows it could be out running a marathon, but it doesn't care because it just wants to sit on the lounge. Whereas the Sun in Scorpio is like, we need to go and do intense things and, you know, find our strength within, and then Jupiter in Taurus at this point is just like, nah, buddy, no, I'm not feeling it. So, you know, there could be some resistance to doing hard work at this time as well. So going from 3:42 to the opposite Jupiter opposition straight into 4 o'clock square to Chiron, I don't know, the afternoon on Friday looks a little bit sensitive, so just be aware of that. All right. Okay, so let's go through to Saturday, where Saturn goes direct today. Yay. All right, because, oh my God, when did it go direct? It went retrograde on the 17th of June at 7 degrees of Pisces. All right, so we have been in this retrograde for like 5 months now, 4.5 months. And, you know, we have been doing a lot of work. We've been challenging our inner narrative. You know, this is very much about our spirituality, our determination, our ability to make our dreams a reality. All right. So we've had one hit. Had one pass where we're like, oh my God, we're going to do this thing. And then, you know, we did the retrograde where we might have had all of those old stories about us being worthless and, you know, a dreamer, and your creativity is going to get you nowhere, and, you know, all of the negative self-doubt and all that sort of stuff went back over itself, where by the end of it, like now, you know, I feel like, you know, we're all it's much easier for us to challenge our own narrative now and to identify it as trigger, old story, whatever, red flag, whatever words you use. When you actually stop and pay attention to the words that you're telling yourself, all right, it's become much easier for you to do that. So now when Saturn goes direct, you've got that inner determination. I'm not saying it's going to be there forever, because, you know, like, it's a constant work in progress. But for now, once we get up to that 7 degrees again, which its shadow finishes February, all right, so really up until February, we're going back over a landscape that we've already investigated once. Okay, so now all right, so the morning on Saturday is looking fairly okay. You know, this reminds me of Saturday morning cartoons, doing the housework on a Saturday. It's fairly easy. but then the moon goes into an opposition with Pluto at 2 p.m. And with the moon still in Cancer, I feel like this is that bit of, our childhood where we're like, I don't want to go out. I just want to stay at home. Or on the reverse, you're like, I want to go out and play. And your mum wants you to go and like stay home and do housework. I don't know. There's just that resistance, that opposition, that, bit of a wall. All right. Now, at 9 a.m. we have Venus opposition Neptune. That definitely goes well with the whole Saturday morning cartoons. Let's just have a little bit of a, let's drop reality for a little while and just chill out. All right. Now, okay, so at 6:03, Saturn goes, I'm going to go there. 6:03, Saturn goes direct. Yay, where is it? Okay, it's up here. And at 6:21, the moon goes into Leo, straight into an inconjunct, all right, with Saturn. All right, so now normally on a Saturday night with a Leo moon, we'd be like, hell yeah, party time. Look at all these red lines. It's definitely a nuh-uh. All right, so have you been digging deep, putting in the effort to receive results? Take a minute to give yourself credit where you deserve it. You do not need external validation, all right? Now, normally, you would look at Leo up there on the stage trying to get all of the adoration, whereas this is if you don't stop and give yourself some acknowledgement of the work that you've been doing, then there is no point having a career up on stage if you're constantly looking for validation from other people, so just acknowledge you have been doing a lot of work. All right, we're here, we're investigating, we're getting dirty, we're down in the pits of our souls, having a look at all those cupboards that we've closed, or closets that are closed in our soul, so, and even, straight into an opposition, or just past an opposition to Pluto, straight into an inconjunct with Saturn. We've still got this Uranus opposition to Mercury. So, we've dug deep and we've found things that are making us uncomfortable, straight out of this opposition Sun Jupiter, where it's like, I want to be extreme, but I want to be lazy. We've got Chiron in conjunct Mars. Mars is ruling Chiron at this moment too. So, Mars is like, let's just go do the thing. Let's be strategic. It's more like, Mars has planned the battle out in its head, but Chiron's a wounded soldier just going, nah, man, my life is not worth your glory type of thing. So, yeah, I would definitely be saying probably not a night that you're going to be going out. Yeah, it might be a bit of resistance to sort of do much on this Saturday night. All right. So I'll just go forward to Sunday morning. Okay, so Sunday morning, I'm going to go 9:30 because why not? It's a sleep in. All right, now we have moon going straight into a square with the sun. All right, so this is the last quarter moon. All right, so from this point to the new moon, which is, I think, the 13th. Yeah, the new moon is the 13th of November. We're going into the down phase of the moon. All right, so it's not a time where you're exerting all of this energy like the first quarter. You come out of the new moon and you just wait a few days for the planets to have their coffee, and then we're growing in our energy up to the full moon, where we release that, we reassess and we release. Well, now we've got to that, this last quarter moon where it's time to assess and slow down. All right. So and it's also square to Jupiter there, because the Jupiter Sun have just had that opposition as well. So it's very much of a not feeling the Jovian vibes at all. Probably better for you to take the time to have a down day. You have permission. All right. Do you need rest, quiet time? You know, if you do have this pent up Mars energy, maybe you can go for a long walk to have a good think. You know, maybe going for a walk by water to sort of, you know, allow those thoughts to flow and permeate and investigate. All right. So yeah, if you are feeling slow or quiet, then take the time to, you know, you deserve to do whatever it is you want to do. Now also, you know, if you do push too hard, we've got this Mars the Mars in conjunct Chiron is exact at 7 p.m. So if you're pushing yourself too hard, be careful that you don't hurt yourself. All right. Because, you know, like I said, this Mars wants to, you know, be winning races and wars, and this Chiron's just like, no. So adjustment is required. Okay. So just be careful for accidents or, you know, just hurting yourself if you're pushing yourself too hard. So that is the extended week ahead. So I will stop this share. No, I will pause. Resume recording. Okay, so all right. So now we are at the what's up this week. Now I know I just went through the extended weeks ahead. So we start this week with the moon in Taurus. So we're looking at finances, security, self-worth. It has just gone past Uranus, and so that could look like new options surrounding finances. A change in your home and comfort or something like that, you know, some sort of adaptation that you have made in regards to that comfort and security. All right. But anyway, Tuesday morning we woke up with the moon in Gemini. So we go into our feelings are much more thought related. All right. So we might more easily get upset by our thoughts. All right. We could also feel overwhelmed by the amount of information that we have to deal with. All right. So when it comes to the moon, it's how you're feeling. All right. And like I was saying in the week ahead, it's a very restless, two-sided, hard to get comfortable with Mercury, the ruler of Gemini, conjunct Mars. We have these forceful thoughts. We have, you know, extreme drive. It's like a dog with a bone type of thing, not wanting to let it go. Scorpio being a fixed water. All right. So we have that extra emotion as well. So just be careful during this Gemini moon that you don't allow other people's opinions to dictate how you are feeling, because if they're talking to you and you're hearing it and it upsets your thoughts, it could very much just as easily upset how you feel. All right. So that is Tuesday through to Thursday. Now, Thursday through to Saturday, we had that Cancer moon. And again, we were saying about bringing up topics that need to be spoken to loved ones, maybe, having conversations with people that you're trying to convince or you're trying to get results your way in regards to things that you nurture, care, family, home, stuff like that. All right. So I think that Friday was good for phone conversations. All right. So Saturday, the moon moves into Leo. And again, I was saying that, normally we'd be seeking fun, but not with this Saturday and Sunday, I don't think. So, in addition, we had Saturn going direct, making us much more responsible. We also had that moon opposition Pluto. So the moon in Cancer opposition Pluto, that also definitely flavors our old story, challenging how we're feeling about our home and environment now. All right. So as you can see, the whole week is full of, the next period of time is full of, every time something touches on Saturn, it's like you're rewriting the narrative. How does your experience relate to what you're doing right now? What does the road ahead look like for you, if you were writing the script, or not if you are writing the script? How can your old lessons color this so that it is much more fortuitous to you in the long run? All right, and Venus opposite Neptune, you know, that is very dreamy, and like I was saying, Saturday morning cartoons. You know, we might want something, you know, Venus in Virgo might be very astute and very much like this is what needs to happen, and Neptune's like, really, do you think? You know, so yeah, so that was the moon. All right, okay, the major aspects for this week. All right, so I was talking about this one, Sun opposition Jupiter. All right, so this is intensity versus expansion and comfort. All right, the Sun wants to go and do a workout, and Jupiter's like, no, buddy, I'm happy on the lounge. All right, we have this desire to focus on transformation and life's mysteries. And Jupiter is like, yeah, I'm quite happy with my spaghetti bolognese here. Thanks, mate. You know, so I mean, we go straight into financial success and the emotional issues surrounding abundance. I don't know about you guys, but I know that that has been a story in my narrative for, the last week and a half or so. I suppose ever since the Sun moved into Scorpio, it was just all around me unconsciously. You know, what are my beliefs about my future success? How are they tied to my childhood beliefs on money? How does that relate to how my parents viewed money, and what was their narrative that I took on as my own story? Like, these are just things that are in the air right now. So hence, investigate. All right. What else? Taking risks versus being cautious. Now, this is a financial one as well. You could want to, all right, Scorpio is all about investment as well. So, you know, maybe in addition to the power struggles as well, maybe you have got a, I don't know, a hot tip or something, or you want to invest in Bitcoin or gold, or, you know, whatever, you want to invest somehow in your future worth, and the opposition is like, no, let's just play it safe. Like, oh my God, I wish I had have bought gold when it was $1,000 a gram, because I'm pretty sure it's up to about $3,000 a gram now. So that type of, you know, risk versus cautious, or being caught. Yeah, and caution, being cautious. All right. So yeah, what's safer? You know what, if in that case, maybe you can just put aside a set amount. Maybe there's some sort of compromise. Maybe it doesn't have to be a power struggle. All right. So if that is something like it, try to find that middle ground. Okay. Now, relationship dynamics. All right. So this is very much the sexual intensity of Scorpio versus the stability and laziness of Taurus. Or it's not laziness, it's more the sensuality. So, you know, Scorpio's just like, let's get to it. And I guess Taurus wants a bit more foreplay type of thing, you know? So relationship dynamics. You might have one that just wants to cuddle and one that doesn't. All right. So now I did talk about Saturn in Pisces going direct. So we have been building our internal strength by addressing our subconscious, what we have long held to be true. Now we will see the effects of this effort in the real world. All right, so Saturn words: discipline, responsibility, structures, and limitations. So whereabouts are these things playing out for you? All right, so Pisces is intuition, empathy, subconscious, creativity, and escapism. All right, so depending on where it is in your chart, what house it is, we have practicality. Hang on. Practicality meets imagination. Now, when Jupiter was going through Pisces through 2021, we had a lot of amazing ideas because Jupiter is all like expansion and, you know, abundance. With Saturn going through Pisces now, we get to make real, all right? So now down the bottom, where is it? Anyway, I'll get to it. So yeah, so we are looking for structured and disciplined approach to creative and imagined dreams. All right, so we are making plans to make our dreams a reality. All right, so this goes through all the way to 2026, I believe, when Saturn leaves Pisces and goes into Aries. But anyway, for now, you know, like I was saying earlier about the, you know, Saturn got to 7 degrees and then went back to 0. We've already had one hit of how can we make our creativity a reality? How can we discipline ourselves so that we can get on top of our escapist tendencies, all right? Because Pisces is also, you know, our addict, our escapist tendencies, and Saturn is helping so many people get on top of those Piscean type of things. Saturn actually likes being in the 12th house and Pisces. So, you know, you know, it's still early days. We still have a long period of time where we can just continue to chip away and build the discipline required. So by the time Saturn leaves Pisces, we're on top of it, and we've got Saturn to thank for that. All right, so next, spiritual and emotional growth, a time to deepen your understanding of your inner world. All right, and our inner stories. You know, inner child, early childhood environment, you know, that's where we're given and learned emotional responses, you know. So, and it's not, oh my God, like even in the last 10 years, 10, 15 years, you know, the language surrounding, you know, our subconscious narrative and our psychological profiles has just increased so much that they've made, you know, human psychology just easy to understand, you know, like boundaries. The next one, all right, the next one, boundaries and emotional resilience, learning to say no and I need, all right. You know, the word boundaries and being in someone's face too much wasn't really a thing. Like, I don't know how to explain it other than, you know, I totally understand what boundaries are now, you know, and I try to be very respectful of other people's boundaries. And I know when I'm being pushed how to say no, or I'm sorry, I can't do that right now. Whereas like 20 years ago, man, I had no idea. I don't know whether that was being in my 20s or it just wasn't in the collective as much as what it is now. We're all learning. All right. So boundaries and emotional resilience. All right. Addressing addiction and escapism. All right. A sobering and disciplined approach to unhealthy patterns of escape and self-sabotage. All right. Like I said, you know, this is a good time for us to be building our knowledge base and you know, filling our toolbox and you know, utilizing all the tools that we've been given over the years. You know, it's not a quick fix. Saturn's all about the work, you know, so you know, this is the right time to be building resilience, to do the work, to combat our addiction and escapist tendencies. All right, you know, and that doesn't have to be drugs. That can be food, you know, that can be sugar, carbs, money, you know, unhealthy emotional connections. It doesn't have to be, you know, just drugs and alcohol. There is a lot of stuff here, you know. I mean, there could be, you know, unintentional emotional suppression. You know, there's a lot of things that it could be, but, you know, it's time to address them. All right. Collective empathy and compassion. All right. So, you know, this, I mean, how much is there collective empathy right now? Even though it's because we're being bombarded by the news media with all of the horrors of the world, you know, I do see collective empathy. and compassion in the world, you know. So even though it's, you know, we're halfway there, it's yin yang. All right. So, and balancing reality and fantasy. All right. So remaining grounded while honoring our dreams. All right. So it's imperative that you dream. You know, it's imperative that you stretch your imagination to beyond your comfort levels so that you can succeed in whatever it is that you want to do. But no buts. It's just about balancing reality. What can I achieve right now? You know, what you can achieve now is very different to what you will be achieving in 6 months. But it takes what you're doing now and the effort and discipline to just take one step in front of the other every single day. Okay. So now this is also a good time to reflect, set goals, and make plans for personal and spiritual growth. So, you know, maybe, you know, if you do stay home on the weekend, maybe you can get your, you know, journal out or get some large pieces of paper. You know, Pisces is all about creativity. You know, there's no rule book that says how to do the work. It's just important that you do the work in whatever way works for you. So thank you very much. I will stop the share now and stop the recording.